Milwaukee Tool came out with their Gen 2 vacuum system that they are calling Nexus, and they also have a lot of Nexus accessories that are on it. We have the Cyclone Debris Separator in the center here on this vacuum. We're gonna go over how that works. And if you're interested in any of the accessories that would come with this, or if you have hoses from the Gen 1 or bins from the Gen 1 that are extra, that you'd like to move over to the Gen 2 to get their PACKOUT and vac link capabilities, it's all gonna work. And we're gonna show you that throughout this video. Pretty sweet setup. This is the 6-gallon Nexus vacuum, which is 0914. It's gonna be very similar to the Gen 1s as far as how it's put together and how it comes apart. But what you have here is the vac link. And if you've seen the dust extractor, this had a very similar piece. This vac link is basically, it looks like a little padlock here, and you can power on and power off this vacuum based on the power button on the vac link. You cannot change modes. That's the one thing it won't do. It's on and off, but it slides on the end of your hose, which is convenient for anyone who's going to be using this to clean things up, because they can just power it on, power it off right there. Don't have to come back to the vacuum. Simple. One battery on this model, and it's just as you would expect. I have a 12 amp hour forge on here. If we turn this on, we can push the mode to go down to half suction. Very sweet vacuum in the way we have it set up. Pull this off. Here is the filter. We have our debris separator that is here. Pull that off. And then this is our Cyclone that's on the bottom. So if it ever hits anything large in there, you need to pull it out. You can take that off. And then the bottom of our vacuum has all the debris and everything else. Again, this will fit even your other Gen 1 power heads, so no worries. And they also have a OSHA compliant dual filter HEPA model, so you can connect this up to anything like the dust extractor. And this piece that fell off is actually the connection to most Milwaukee tools, or the one that comes on the dust extractor. And for that, we can just unscrew our swivel head that takes all the other connections, and it also removes our vac link. But then we can screw on this connection. It's not difficult, you just got to get it straight. And then once this is on, we can connect up to a tool. And we have a dust extractor to a point, which I think is cool, especially with the debris separator, and also when you look at what we could get with the OSHA compliant HEPA filters. I think that's pretty slick. So you have options. And if you have other hoses, like I said, there's all this stuff is the exact same as it would be on Gen 1. They just twist and come out. Pretty sweet vacuum. This is the Nexus Cyclone separator, as we showed on the vacuum, and this is going to be the Nexus HEPA filter that is OSHA compliant. Pretty simple ways of working with everything. The filter is going to go in this area. It's going to direct the flow through everything. It's going to keep your filters clean, obviously, but you are buying this for the HEPA capabilities. So I think this is pretty similar to how the dust extractor works. 2 HEPA filters. This guy is very interesting and not at all what I expected when I kind of looked inside, as it's supposed to keep 99% of the dust particles out. It's going to work best, Milwaukee says, with sawdust or fine particles fed at a continuous rate, which means that if this gets fed something really large and a bunch of small stuff at the same time, maybe it will clog this up. As we said earlier, just pop that open, pull things out, and you're set. I haven't had a clog yet, haven't used it a lot. We're gonna get into that and kind of show you how it works. But for other people looking, this will fit on any Gen 1, and let's look at that now. Here's a 12-gallon AC model that's basically an a la carte build your own, but as we said, you can switch hoses. This is the large hose, but it also comes down. It's a little bit smaller, so no issue. You can take any of these things and go between that you would like. I think that is great. It's nice that Milwaukee didn't change that. If we want to lift this off, we can put our debris separator on here. The only thing that I did was remove the small piece that holds the bag. There's a seal there. Lock this all down. No sense in doing that at this point. We can take the head off the other model, pop it on here. We can take both and put it on the other model. Again, bring HEPA filter over, pop this on. Oh, and that's my bad. With the HEPA filter model, you have to take off the initial large filter. I did not catch that while I was reading everything. And there you go. We could switch in between. So you have more options even with your Gen 1 vacuum. To test out this Cyclone, let's put it to the test and make some dust. So we're going to use it as a dust extractor, which is convenient. The vac link button is right here. Turn that on. Let's go. So after those cuts and cleanup, we should not see any dust on the filter, or 99% of it shouldn't be there. So let's just tap it on the top. Nothing. I mean, essentially nothing, which I think is exactly how it should be if you're going to pay for a Cyclone. So in the bottom of this should be a significant amount of dust, and it is. And I sent through a ton of these larger pieces, and they're not crazy large pieces, but that's about as large as what it's going to take to go through that hose. And it really didn't clog anything up. Now I get it. It's not like long pieces of grass or anything, but that's going to be the average of what anyone's going to send through. And that's significant. All that dust went through and none of it's on the filter. So this new single battery Nexus model is 95 CFM, which I think is pretty impressive for one battery. I'm using the 12 amp hour forge on here. On high, it's going to go for about 30 minutes of cleaning time, continuous. That too is very good for a battery operated vacuum that has a single M18 battery. Now, if you were to run this on low, you get approximately 45 minutes, which I still don't think is too bad. Low works. So if you're going to use this for cleaning up, or if you're actually going to use it as a dust extractor, which with some add-ons you can, it's got some decent runtime. Now, the vac link to me is absolutely amazing. And one of the things that, I mean, it's not new. There's other companies that have had this out for a while, but it really makes this work. So if you want to pick up just this power head, it's out there for sale alone if you already have the rest of the Gen 1 stuff. For you guys who want to keep up on everything, pick this up in a different model than what you already have in the Gen 1. That way, if you have the 6-gallon Gen 1, pick this up in a 12-gallon Nexus model. Now you have the best of both worlds and you can flip-flop in between. For you guys who don't care if you have the latest and the greatest or if you have vac link, it's pretty simple. You want to stick with it. The Nexus stuff works with your vacuums. And I think as a company who's building out stuff and coming up with new stuff all the time, it is great that they are incorporating new products into not only their Gen 1, Gen 2 stuff that all go together. It just makes sense. It makes sense for the buyers. Doesn't always happen, and that's sad. So let me know what you think about this vacuum below. We're going to continually work on this. This was just an introduction as to all the things it has and does. We could get into a 20-30 minute video if we just wanted to deep dive and go all the way through this. So far, to me, the Cyclone dust separator is a must buy for a Gen 1 or Gen 2 vacuum. Pretty sweet. Thank you for your time, guys. Give us a like in this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a great day.